Dear student, class 8 English version. Today I am going to discuss our revision chapter 1 lesson 6. The colonial is the liberation and the liberation war of Bangladesh. The movement against the East India Company and the British rule. The rule of East India Company came to an end with the promulgation of Indian Rule Act. State part of India was given to the British king. One minister of the British cabinet was appointed as the secretary of the state for India. He would run the administration of India with the help and suggestion of 15 members. Advisory board. Actually, they made an advisory board with 15 members. According to this law, the governor general was called viceroy. The viceroy was representative of the British king. Lord Canning was appointed as the first viceroy. In this way, the British government established their total control over India in 1861. The British Parliament instructed the Indian government to form a representative parliament. A declaration was also made to form a Bengal parliament. The function of the Bengal parliament started from 1st February 1862. When did Bengal parliament start? 1st February 1862. At first, this parliament had 12 members. How many members? 12 members. The number of members was increased to 21 in 1894. During the initial stage, there was no provision for these members to be elected by voting. Later on, the parliament became a democratic institution, and this system was then introduced throughout India, including Bengal. But the control of the British government over this parliament remained intact. In 1853, the British government decided to divide Bengal into two provinces. Demarcation was made to this effect in 1903. The division of Bengal in 1905 is the result of this plan. East Bengal got a separate identity from this state. A great majority number of people during the British rule were farmers. On the other hand, a small minority was the privileged Jamindar class. The number of people connected with cottage and small industry was very few. Agriculture, the backbone of economy, was almost ruined during the British rule. The same was the case with the weaving industry, which was once very famous. The business community of Bengal was not organized. The condition of Bengal in industry was also not worth mentioning. The women folk lagged behind due to social norms and superstition. Actually, this was not a good picture of Bengal. The middle class society could not become powerful. At that time, Britain was the richest country of the world, and actually they smuggled all wealth of East India Company, and day by day they become richest country of the world, while India was a British colony and place exploitation. Lesson 7 and 8. Renaissance in Bengal and emergence of the state of Pakistan. The English wanted to make their rule stronger. With this intention, they started to create an English educated class. They would remain loyal to them. Warren Hastings established Kolkata Madrasa in 1781. When did Warren Hastings establish Kolkata Madrasa? In 1781. The purpose of establishing this madrasa was to satisfy the Muslim by creating job opportunities, as the Muslims were broken-hearted because of losing their state. For the same reason, Sanskrit College was established for the Hindus in 1731. A new inspiration aroused the local people for coming in touch with modern education. People started to question the age-old belief, norms, and culture. Movements against Shatida started from the Hindus' opinion were formed in favor of widow marriage. The country witnessed a new tide which was limited but effective in changing the age-old belief of these people. Actually, some good effects of British, like widow marriage, Shatida movement against Shatida. English missionary Sir William Carey kept himself attached in various social activities apart from active preaching of Christianity. He was a pioneer in composing Bengali grammar, setting up printing machines, publishing newspaper, preparing school textbooks, and many other important social works. In this sequence, the British established school. Actually, British was the pioneer to establish or to set up school, college, madrasa, first introduced to Indian people the British ruler some colleges and also established for higher studies. At last, Kolkata University was established 1857 as a seat of higher education and research. The establishment of printing press very important at Srirampur in 1821 was also played a positive role in inspiring the people of Bengal. The printing press facilitated the printing of books and thus to spread out education among the educated people. The sensitive people now started to cast their attention to the development of the society. They started to criticize the injustice of the ruler, and in the same way they made self criticism about the injustice of the society. Many came forward to create public opinion by publishing newspaper in Bengali language. Though this renaissance of Bengali people happened at Kolkata city, and the entire Bengal witnessed its indirect result, the flourishing of nationalistic feelings inspired by patriotism is another hallmark of modern education during colonial rule. The desire for independence and democratic rights started to spring up in people's mind. The anti-movement took its final origin due to the planning of the partition of Bengal in 1905 AD. But the British rulers wanted to convey that the reason behind was the benevolence of the country. That time, the periphery of Bengal was very large. Eastern Bengal, Western Bengal, Bihar, Odisha constituted the Greater Bangla. So it was difficult for the Kolkata-based British rulers to exercise good governance in remote region. For this development work in Eastern Bengal, Bihar, Odisha was not possible. In 1903, British Viceroy Lord Curzon proposed that Bengal would be divided into two provinces for the sake of exercising good governance. A new province named East Bengal would be formed, declaring Dhaka its capital. The control of this province would be in the hand of Lieutenant Governor. Though there were logical grounds, many of the Kolkata-based educated Bengalis expressed their doubt in this government decision. Though that dividing Bengal and British rulers wanted to breach the communal harmony between the Hindu-Muslim. Most of the people of East Bengal were Muslims. They thought that with the emergence of a new province, development work would be strengthened, but the educated Hindu leaders protest against the division of Bengal. For this reason, the gap between the two communities increased. Indian National Congress was the only non-communal Indian political organization, but most of the great leaders of Congress were Hindus. Actually, Hindus peoples forwarded than Muslim, because most of the great leaders of Congress were Hindus. They raised their voice against partition of Bengal without consulting with Muslim leaders. A new calculation arose. So a new calculation arose among the Muslim leaders that they would need a political platform of their own to secure their demands. Consequently, in 1906 AD, an organization named Muslim League was formed in Dhaka. The intention of the British was materialize. The conflict between the two sects was made clear after the division of Bengal. In 1905 AD, the Bengali Hindu leaders increasingly insisted upon the British that partition of Bengal would not be wise. They started some movement which are Swadeshi movement, non-cooperation movement, Swaraj movement, and armed revolution. Through this movement, patriotism grew among the mass people of the country, and they become united. It is undeniable that a gap was widening between Hindu-Muslim leaders. Many educated Bengali expressed their view that the British had a different intention behind the partition of Bengal. They wanted to weaken the people, breaking the intercommunal harmony. Actually, British attacked the intercommunal harmony of Hindu and Muslim, could not form any united movement against the British. This ill purpose of the British was almost fruitful. Nevertheless, an anti-British movement was formed throughout the whole Indian subcontinent. At that time, the main leadership has been shifted from Bengali leaders. The British started to apply divided Bangla Bangla formula to divide the Bengali leaders again. As a consequence, Indian National Congress was being counted as the political group of the Hindus, and Muslim League was being known as the political organization of the Muslim. Due to this attitude, several clashes occurred between Hindu-Muslim leaders and among the general people of the two sects. As a matter of fact, non-communal attitude was reducing from the political arena of this country. Bengali leader A.K. Fazlul Haq placed the formula of dividing India on the basis of two-nation theory in 1940. A.K. Fazlul Haq tabled this formula at a Muslim League conference held in Lahore, which place A.K. Fazlul Haq submit or proposed the dividing India on the basis of two-nation theory. Lahore conference, Muslim League conference held in Lahore. At this, the people of Bengal were divided on the basis of the religion, Muslim or Hindu. India was divided in 1947 on the basis of two-nation theory of Lahore proposal. At the far end, efforts were also made to keep Bengal undivided by the election in 1946, and the riots in Kolkata and Noakhali made it impossible. East Bengal became independent from the British as a part of Eastern Pakistan. But this was not the true independence of the people of Eastern Bengal. The British rulers enforced their torture and exploitation over the people of Eastern Bengal. They, truly speaking, the people of Eastern Bengal had to start their movement against from the 14th August 1947 to achieve independence in the real sense. You know, British ruler came to our country, came to subcontinent for trade, and when they found the weak administration of Bengal, they day by day they they become powerful, and at last they snatch the independence of India, or snatch the power of the India, and they ruled 200 years in subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, and uh, in their regime a lot of mutiny occurred, and they protest it their modern weapons and soldiers, and they for establishing their ruling rules, they create many policy and act and our economic condition day by day mm, uh, weakened and poor, because they smuggled lot of money and wealth to transfer British the richest country in the world, and British become richest country in the world, especially 76 meaning the famine of Bengali years 1176 million of people died in this famine, uh, and especially Lord Clive, he established a diarchy, dual administration was a peculiar system. In this system, revenue collection, military control, and running the administration were in the hand of the British. The Nawab was an administrator only by name. As a result, the Nawab got powerless responsibility, and the company got without duty. Company got power without duty. Diarchy. Diarchy was an extreme curse for the people of the country. The English, after getting authority of collecting revenue, increased the amount of tax on the subject, and they gave maximum pressure to collect additional tax. Apart from this, the country faced a great famine due to drought for 3 years. How many years? 3 years. And this famine is known as in the history 76 Montotor. The prominent governors of East India Company at the initial stage were Lord Wellesley, Warren Hastings, Lord Cornwallis, Lord William Bentinck. And these people, they worked to exploit the people. Even their countrymen were benefited by of their work: railway, steamer, postal, telecommunication. The major works of English are a class of Jomindar was created by implementing permanent settlement in 1793, and those Jomindars always remained loyal to the British. And Indian administration law passed by British Parliament in 1858, and British authority in the control of administration was ensured. Administrative offices, education, and commercial institutions were shifted to Kolkata from Murshidabad. This shifting made Kolkata an important city. Kolkata was made capital of Bengal officially. Lord Bentinck, Lord Hardinge took steps to spend education, stop early marriage, introduce widow marriage. These are the good work. They also introduced the practice of modern science, Bengali like cooperated with Bengali like Raja Rammohn Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyashok in their attempt to erect some social superstition and Shotidaho, including Shotidaho, which means the widow will also be burned with her dead husband. A peculiar system of or customs of Hindus religion and this is the inhuman behavior of religious practice. A new educated civil society emerged in the country, but the greater Bengali community was opposed by the British rule. Actually, when the people educated are going on educated, then they hesitated, they united and hesitated against by against the British rule, and because Bengali people community oppressed by the British rule, for this reason they united and hesitated. So you have any problem, please contact with me.